Hello and welcome to A Cat in the Garden. Today I am at a garden center that I have not showed y'all before. It is called the Green Gate Garden Center in Seguin, Texas. I usually come here whenever I go to Wild Roots, usually after, but they're having a crazy Aroid and Hoya sale today. So I came here first. I woke up at 5:30 in the morning to be here. I just got here a couple minutes after they opened and it already looks like it has a bunch of people. So I'm gonna keep this quick because I really wanna get inside and see what they have. They had a lot of really enticing posts on their Instagram yesterday showing some of the things that would be available. So let's go inside and check it out. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit chaotic, so bear with me, at least the first part. So there were a lot of people in here checking out this Aroid sale, and I don't blame them because there were a lot of great plants available. First up, this is a table of Syngonium, as well as some upright philodendron. This is a philodendron white princess for $18, already kind of climbing. And I just thought that was an absolute steal. Honestly, if I didn't already have 3, I would have gotten another one. They had a few Syngonium kind of mixed in. Some of the plants got moved around by people that were shopping. So again, kind of chaotic, but totally worth it because there are some absolutely amazing plants here. These Syngoniums were so cheap. So far, I have not really found a plant over $30, which is kind of crazy. And there's some really good variegation on a lot of these plants. This Melanil Chrysum looked super healthy for $42. That was an absolute beautiful plant, though I tend to stay away from them because they don't really do well in my home. Next up are some Alocasia cuprea. They're looking pretty good, $24. Not my favorite alocasia, not gonna lie. It looks a little too weird for me, kind of like an alien. These were kind of unnamed alocasia. I'm guessing they're either Odora or Macrorrhiza, all variegated for $9 each. If I could keep alocasia alive, I would literally buy all of them because that's a steal. These pink princesses were also beautiful. Great mature leaves, and of course the Texas Jose Buono philodendron and no ID. This one was $180. It had pretty good variegation, some painted ladies, and this plant was huge. I actually brought it out at one point. It's a philodendron tenue, and it was bigger than my entire torso, which I thought was absolutely crazy. Some gloriosum as well. I believe they were $38. But moving on now, we're actually going to head into the greenhouse. They do have some large tropicals outside before you head into the greenhouse, but once you get in here, it's kind of crazy how much stuff that they have. This is an absolutely huge greenhouse that is jam-packed with tropicals as well as some succulents and cacti and some kind of living installation type plants like you kind of see on the walls here, but those were for sale. So moving along, it can kind of get overwhelming at first, but I kind of just take things one table at a time, look for things that I potentially would like to see. This plant was kind of cool. I like the way that it was trailing. And moving along, we're just gonna kind of wait till we see something that is enticing. There are a bunch of peace lilies, some regular red marantas, but you kind of see those everywhere. These Calathea orbifolia were huge. They looked beautiful, even with a little bit of cosmetic damage. These Stromanthe Trio Star were gorgeous for $28, super full and healthy, and they had some little ones for cheaper as well. Kind of had to move some plants out of the way of my face as I was walking by. And over here is the Alocasia table. So they have Alocasia Ladderbachyiana, or also known as Purple Sword, for $9, which is a great price. I remember back in the day I bought mine for about $20 or $25. So they've really come down in price since then, even though $20 is not expensive to begin with. These Alocasia Silver Dragon were looking so cute and healthy. I forget what the price said there. It was either $12 or $21, but I can't really remember. Back here, they have a beautiful fern that's just kind of hanging. Kind of just wanted to show you all how extensive this place is. It's very easy to get lost here, and there's Hoya baskets hanging from the ceiling. So many rows of them, which is really cool. This fungi was really pretty. I believe it was $42. Yeah, $42. And a lot of the Hoyas here are blooming as well, which is also really fun. You can kind of get a sneak peek of what your Hoya blooms will look like. They also had a table of Hoyas, and they had the elusive Hoya Hollyana for $230. I actually bought my Hollyana here, but when I bought it, it was a little bit cheaper. Here was a really pretty Wilburgia splash for $48. Also, all Hoyas here were on sale for 20% off, so I'm really looking to get a couple of Hoya baskets today if I can. The leaves on this one were pretty cool. This is the Hoya rigida for $42. A lot of these baskets are very tangled up and they look kind of messy, but you're getting so much plant in the basket that it's a great prop project, or it can just be untangled if you really want to put the time into untangling it. These Calistophylla leaves were really pretty, though Calistophylla is not my favorite Hoya, to be honest. This was a nice full Shepherdii. I think it was 18 or 28, which is a really great price for a Hoya, just getting a huge basket of it. So I always appreciate that. There's some repeats of plants over here. This one was really cool. This is the Hoya Bella, not variegated or anything, but I do like how the regular ones look sometimes. This Clemenciorum was $74. I think that is a great price for an actively growing one, and I did notice that somebody bought it later. So I'm a little jealous. I might have actually snagged that if someone else didn't. This is a Hoya bicolor, which I'd never heard of before, but it was $36, so pretty affordable, especially when you take into account that they're 20% off. This was the Dischidia oantha for I think $32 or $36. But moving on past the Hoyas, this is an orchid table. They do have the variegated vanilla orchid, as well as some of the regular orchids in bloom. I really don't know much about the different types of orchids, though I do know that there are a lot of different types. I know these are the regular ones you see all the time. And back here, I wanted to show you guys, I always look at this plant whenever I'm here. This is the biggest Hoya I have ever seen. And it's just one plant, and it's growing all the way up to the ceiling and then trailing back down. There's another one over here that's almost just as big. And of course, over here too, we have some succulents and cacti. I could not find a price on this one for the life of me, but it had a really cute new growth point, so I figured I would just share it with y'all anyway. They have these cute little crawling cacti as well. Again, I really don't know anything about succulents or cacti, so just want to give you guys an overview. These looked like almost dead sticks, but I thought it was pretty cool how it was trailing. I don't know. Sometimes I like the really weird ones. I do have one or two cacti in my collection. Not a bunch because, again, I'm not the best with them and I don't really know much about them and I usually overwater. But I wanted to give you an overview of them in case you are interested in succulents and cacti and you are local to Texas. I would definitely check out the selection here. And again, moving past the orchids, wanted to give you all a view of the row here. And then this plant was really cool. I don't know what it's called, but it's variegated and I love how the variegation looks. It's only $9. I have a feeling it's a type of plant that you put in the shade outside, and because it almost looks like a hosta, doesn't it? But I don't have any shade, so gonna have to leave that one behind. Here's the Hoya sale sign, in case I forgot to show it earlier. They have this really big Curtisii. That plant hates me. It really does, to be honest. So I kind of leave it be. Here they have some really nice climbing micans already on a pole, but they are outgrowing the pole, so I would recommend getting a new one. They also have some climbing Adansonii that actually have some pretty big mature leaves, which I thought was nice to see. I prefer them mature to the juvenile ones, to be honest. I'm kind of over some juvenile plants these days. They have some really nice full Cebu blues as well as some more upright philodendrons. I don't know if this is like the Bloody Mary or the Dark Lord. That's 19. It kind of looks like a Bloody Mary, to be honest. The leaves aren't dark enough, I don't think, to be a Dark Lord. And over here we have kind of a thing that I missed at first. These are the Scindapsus trabii dark form for $21. I was really tempted to get one. They looked really nice, kind of trailing out of their pots, which I thought was good to see. Active growth is always a good sign. I don't really know what this plant is. Don't know what it's called. It's not really labeled, but I thought that it was cool. It kind of reminded me of a Geogenanthes, though I think it's kind of like vining out, and I don't think those really do that. They had some Aglaonema Silver Bay, which is one of my favorite Aglaonema that I don't own. They were only $9, which was tempting because I feel like that's a great price. And then hanging, they have some of the Cissus Discolor, I believe. I couldn't find a price on it, but I do think it's a really striking plant that I do want to own at some point. Maybe when I have higher humidity, because I feel like it just looks like a plant that would be a problem. They did have a few pitcher plants and some carnivorous plants scattered throughout, just here and there. This plant here, I didn't know what it was called, but it had some cute flowers too. And then they had some giant variegated spiral gingers, which were so cool. They were at least 2 or 3 feet tall. They were $42, kind of crammed into a little pot, but they were looking so happy, almost no crispiness. Then this little Dieffenbachia, I think, was $24. I really liked the colors on it. It was pretty striking. And this plant was cool. I'm not going to try to pronounce the name, but they had a few of them, and they were looking really weird, really funky, nice to see. And I wanted to highlight some of the bigger plants too, some ZZ Raven, some Dieffenbachia. If you are looking for bigger plants for your space, which I am kind of casually looking for some more big plants, just here and there if I can find them. They also have this area that's locked off where they are growing some more rare plants, some harder to find, some mature plants. So I always kind of try to take a sneak peek even though you're not allowed in here. They have some really cool anthurium, some Jose Buono, some alocasia. So they have a nice little private collection going on. So I wanted to give you guys a sneak peek as well. Passing by the alocasia table again and some ferns, kind of going around their private collection table. This plant I think is a type of ginger. They were $14 and it looked really cool in the morning sunlight. I just love the way that the light was hitting it. It was almost metallic in a way, which was really neat to see. And then this plant that's kind of crawling around is actually a philodendron micans, just a super mature one. And the things that I would do for a cutting of this plant, because this is what I want out of a micans. I want a micans that is this big one day. It was absolutely gorgeous, and I hope that they cut it and sell some soon because I would buy it. These were some Scindapsus trabii Moonlight for $14. They looked super healthy and trailing, not the Casa Farms one, which was kind of nice to see as well. They also had some Squamiferum for $24. They looked pretty healthy, but could definitely use a pull in the near future. Some Monstera Peru. These were trailing pretty hard. It was kind of difficult to get it out there. It was $28, which I don't think is a bad price for one that was that big. It's kind of deceiving, this video. They're a lot bigger. And a Monstera dubia, which I really could not get out, but it was $52. This plant was growing all over the place and probably make a good prop project if I'm being honest. And of course, more Philodendron Pink Princess, as well as more Syngonium. I feel like these were supposed to be part of the Aroid sale, and they had the same prices. I just don't think they had room for them up front. So they had them back here, which is fine. I mean, I found them anyway. The pink princesses were $42 and they were pretty mature, though this one was pretty low color. I don't really know what all of these Syngonium are called, but this one was $32, had some pretty good variegation on it. For being an arrowhead Syngonium, I would say that it's pretty nice. And over here were some peperomia, as well as I think these are the milk confetti. I think I know the name of this one. Yeah, milk confetti. They had pretty nice variegation, lots of pink on them, and a lot of like milky green color of the leaves. This was a batik for $32. I also think the variegation on that one is pretty good based on what I've seen, and some albos for $21. I remember when they were so expensive. Do you guys remember that? They used to be hundreds of dollars, and then people were like, wait, this actually grows really easily. These were $29. I think they're the Epipremnum amplissimum. They kind of looked like that to me, but I could be wrong. And this anthurium was $34, I believe that said. That's kind of like the weird fingery one. I don't know, they're weird. I've seen a lot of them here today, but they're cool anyway. They're cool. And of course, before I leave, I have to grab a couple of plants to take home with me. So I'm just going to snag a couple really quick and head out.
All right, y'all, I am back, and that was amazing. That was such a good sale. I am so happy to have gotten a few plants. So let me show you what I got. Might have to reach for some of them. The first one is this Hoya species louse. It was $24, and then I got it on sale for 20% off. And then I got this Hoya Wilbergier Splash, which was $48, and then on sale for 20% off. And then I got one plant that was part of the Aroid sale, so let me grab it. And it's a variegated spiral ginger. I absolutely love this plant. It was $24. I love the variegation on it. Unfortunately, one of mine passed away after I repotted it. So I'm hoping I'm just gonna do better by keeping it in moss. The one that I have in moss right now is doing really well. The one that I took out of moss died, so we're gonna have a little bit of a do-over. I really want a nice big full one of these. I'm really jealous of the one at Tillery Street Plant Co. So that's why I got this one. Fingers crossed that it goes well. But thank you so much for following me around today for this Aroid sale at the Green Gate Garden Center. If you like this video, make sure to give me a thumbs up down below and subscribe so you don't miss anything from me on the channel. Thanks again, and I'll catch you in the next one.